San Diegans remember and pay tribute to the American men and women who lost their lives fighting for our country. Good evening and thank you for joining us on this Memorial Day. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. Memorial Day events were held all over the county today, including one on the flight deck of the USS Midway Museum that honored military nurses who died while serving in Vietnam. Just outside the aircraft carrier, the group San Diego Veterans for Peace set up its hometown Arlington West Memorial, paying tribute to the hundreds of Southern Californians who died in the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Fort Rosecrans National Cemetery held its 124th consecutive Memorial Day service, which included a reading of the Gettysburg Address, the playing of taps, and a 21-gun salute.
Today's ceremony at Mount Soledad gave special tribute to a group of Marines that was based at Camp Pendleton. The unit known as Dark Horse served in Afghanistan, and their deployment became known as the deadliest of the war. 25 Marines were killed in action, 200 others wounded. CBS 8 also talked to Kalaine Cooney from La Jolla. She visits Mount Soledad every Memorial Day to honor her father and uncle who served in World War II.
I miss them a lot. I'm just thankful. We have beautiful lives today because of everyone's sacrifice here in this country, and we're blessed.
Cooney says each year the crowd at the Mount Soledad ceremony gets a little bit bigger. Memorial Day is also known as the unofficial start to summer, with many hitting the beach to kick off the season.
May gray loomed over San Diego beaches for most of the day, but that didn't stop locals and visitors from digging their toes in the sand. CBS 8's Abby Black shares how beach crowds made the most of their day.
May not be sunnies and suntan weather in San Diego, but it is the unofficial kickoff to summer, and families are ready to crowd the beaches.
Using beach towels for blankets.
It's nice out here.
Visitors from New Mexico and Riverside County were not expecting sweater weather at the beach.
We expected it to be beach weather.
Nia Jones and her friends drove nearly 4 hours from Blythe, California, near the Arizona border, where it's forecast to be 101 today.
And we actually shipped out at 2.
And they arrived in Mission Beach around 5 this morning.
We thought the beach was going to be packed, so we were like, you know what, let's hurry up and get there, get our spots.
Plenty of beach space, but the parking lots were already full by 10 a.m.
That was the hardest part, I think, was finding parking, but we lucked out, luckily.
Tana Olivas and her family travel from Utah and usually visit during spring break or later in the summer.
It's a little chillier than we wanted, but it's perfect for a beach day. At least you're not sweating to death.
A perfect day to play with the kiddos and dig in the sand.
I'm building a double sandcastle.
San Diego lifeguards also took notice of fewer people on the beach. The ocean temperature was about 64 degrees. Still, you saw surfers and boogie boarders catching 2 to 3 foot waves. San Diego lifeguards say from Saturday until midday today, there are about 240,000 beachgoers, which is average this time of year, and 30 water rescues, which is very low. Memorial Day is not known to be your typical sunny and 70 in San Diego. Last year, May gray hovered over beaches, drawing a smaller crowd. Businesses say the weather and inflation may have kept people home in the past, but this year, business is warming up.
It's jumping up. I'm actually pretty surprised by the influx of people that we're getting.
Skylar McManus manages Hamill's beach rental and souvenir shop across from Belmont Park.
People are so used to the shock of the economics from like 6 months ago to a year ago when it was pretty bad. I feel that we're kind of coming out of that. You can't get a less expensive activity than coming to the beach. So you're gonna come out here.
Because no matter the weather, there really isn't a bad day at the beach.
We might as well enjoy the day as best as we can.
In Mission Beach,
Fun, sun, sand, surf.
Abby Black, CBS 8.
Our top story tonight, San Diego has lost a local legend. Bill Walton, who grew up in East County and once played professionally for the San Diego Clippers, died today following a battle with cancer.
Walton was, of course, also known for his generosity, donating his time to help local nonprofits. CBS 8's Steve Price joins us live from Pechanga Arena with a look back at Bill Walton's life. Steve.
And Carlo and Marcella, Bill Walton played 5 seasons inside this building. Then the Clippers moved up to LA. But here's the thing. You can take Bill Walton out of San Diego, but you can never take the San Diego out of Bill Walton.
I'm the luckiest, proudest dude in the world.
Bill Walton's infectious smile gone too soon. The La Mesa legend, who went to Helix High School and played for the San Diego Clippers, went to college out of town and played for other NBA teams, but he never forgot his local roots.
This is a sad day and a huge loss.
CBS 8's former sports director Ted Leitner calls Walton the greatest player ever to come out of San Diego in any sport. He won 2 national championships at UCLA, 2 NBA championships, and was enshrined in Pro Basketball's Hall of Fame in 1993. But it was Walton's personality off the court that scored big with those who knew him.
Bill had the greatest zest for life of anyone I've ever known. Just unbelievable, just mind-boggling. You talk about one of these guys where they talk about gets up and opens the curtains and good morning, how you doing? I mean, and not phony, not a phony bone in his body. He just loved life.
His pro career was cut short by injuries. He had at least 3 dozen surgeries, but he refused to let that stop him from enjoying life. Whether it's throwing out the first pitch at a Padres game or riding his bike around town, Walton was a familiar face across the county.
He loved his hometown. He was very proud of San Diego, and he wanted it to be special.
Former Aztecs coach Steve Fisher says Walton always made time for everyone, even strangers. He says Walton helped him promote the team, land great recruits, but that was the thing about Bill. If you were helping San Diego, he wanted to help you.
If you say, can you come and be at this fundraiser? He was there. He did so much for so many people in this area.
Including the San Diego YMCA, which has this statue outside their facility in Mission Valley. The Y issuing a statement saying, in part, Walton has left an incredible mark on San Diego by being a passionate force for boundless generosity and unwavering determination to inspire those around him. Walton died following a battle with cancer. He was 71 years old. And Walton's friends told me they had an idea that maybe he was having some health issues because he suddenly wasn't calling college basketball games at the end of the season. But Ted Leitner told me that he actually just texted Walton 2 weeks ago, asked him how he was doing, and Walton said, "I'm alive, everything is fine." Even when he knew he was dying, Marcella and Carlo, he didn't want to make things about him.
Thanks, Steve. Man. As you saw there, Bill Walton made a remarkable impact on San Diego and the world, both on and off the court.
CBS 8's John Howard joins us now with more on Walton's larger-than-life personality. And John, I mean, he really just always smiling and always helping. We covered him more during his community activism than we did during his professional career.
I think you're right, and that's what he'll be remembered for. Great basketball player, but what he did in the community, really, it's hard to describe. He also had a way of making you feel like you were a very important part of his day. He was one of my favorite interviews because anytime I talked with him, I knew he was going to provide great sound. Here are some clips from a couple of interviews with Bill, the man who once had the speech impediment of a stutter, who went on to become a highly respected NBA and college basketball analyst.
60 seconds with Bill Walton. Bill, when you
60 seconds, we only have 60 seconds. I can't even say hello in 60 seconds, John. Aztecs win. Aztecs win. Let's go.
Excellent job, Coach Walton. And one other question for you. Briefly.
This will never make air.
Briefly.
This will be on the website.
Biggest name celebrity on the speed dial of your cell phone?
I don't know how to do speed dial.
Who had more impact on the game, Magic or Bird?
Asking me to choose between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird is asking me to choose which one of my children I like best. Never rank, rate, compare, contrast championships, coaches, children, or concerts.
And like Steve Price said, that smile gone too soon. And the thing, I mean, when you're a 7-footer, you can't hide yourself in a crowd.
No.
And he just said, okay, I can't hide myself in a crowd. I'm going to be that personality that brings energy into a room.
And he did, and he was so gracious.
Yes, he was.
He really embraced John Wooden's Pyramid of Life, and you'd hear him quote it over and over. And John Wooden, who was just an incredible coach, but also just an incredible developer of young men.
Yeah, and Bill Walton was driven crazy by John Wooden as a freshman, because John Wooden had these disciplines. You have to shave, you have to have short hair. And once Bill Walton got out, You see him with the beard with the Portland Trailblazers, but he became a lifelong friend with John Wooden, and Wooden was his mentor the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Such a special
Great
bond
thing.
with
Thanks,
everyone.
John.
Thanks.
Still much more ahead on CBS 8 News live at 6.
Plus, what doctors are saying about the first drug approved to treat postpartum depression.
Did you know on this Memorial Day, back in roughly about 2000, going back to about 2019, that we did have about 1 to 3 inches of snow, and that was across the mountains from Mount San Jacinto as well as San Bernardino County. We didn't have that today. It was actually pretty nice out there with that marine layer. We'll go ahead and take a look at that forecast coming up. Sean.
The unofficial start of summer grilling with Styles. We've got an espresso spinach wrap and a French potato salad. I'm Sean Styles. We got things cooking here on Grilling with Styles.